I was just talking to the empty walls. It was a very, very important chapter. It was based on the three modes of material nature, trigunas, which we have been discussing from almost chapter 1. We kept on telling that we will discuss in detail about this chapter. Right? We just heard trigunas, three modes of nature, which is one of the important driving force which is making the living entities to perform various actions, good or bad. So what are those three gunas or three modes is what we discussed in the last chapter. So whoever has missed it, so please make sure that you get the recording and listen, because it's a very, very important chapter. So Prabhu, we have that recording, right? Okay. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today we will be discussing chapter 15 of the Bhagavadgita. The chapter is called as the Yoga of the Supreme Person. There is another name to this chapter. It's called Purushottama Yoga. One of the important and key chapters in the Bhagavad Gita. It just has 20 shlokas. It's a small chapter, but it's a very, very important chapter. So, in this material world, when you ask anyone, everyone has some sort of problem. It does not mean only the poor people are struggling, even the rich, because the problem is not just monetary, it can be anything. For some people the problems can be because of relationships. For some people the problems could be because of monetary issues. For some people their office managers could be a problem. For some people health issues is the problem. They might have everything in life, but they are not able to enjoy the life because of their health issues. For some people there could be issues in the family. No? Somebody is under the care of them. Maybe has some other responsibilities. So like this, if you see, there is problem everywhere in this material world to everyone. Maybe in a certain stage of life, we might not realize it. Maybe someone is very young, a student, or who is not at all bothered about anything, doesn't have family responsibilities or anything. You go and ask him, he says, no, I am happy in my life, I don't have any problems. Or someone even in a working class, they might say that no, everything is going smooth, I don't have any issues. But the reality is that it will not stay like that for a long period. One or the other day, some or the other problems is going to come. For students, sometimes they don't have to worry about any responsibilities, but these exams are a problem. They'll have to study, too much of pressure, tension. So that is how this material world is built. This is what we have been seeing right from chapter 1. This material world in the Bhagavad Gita is described as Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam, especially a place that is filled with miseries. So the only solution for this is, see, all of us have our real home is the supreme abode of the Lord. And we all wanted to enjoy, had that unlimited desires to enjoy. And that is the reason Lord created this material world and He put us here. Right? And being ignorant of the Supreme Lord, or being ignorant of who we are, what is our original position, who is the Lord, what is our relationship between me and the Lord. Being ignorant of all these things is one of the main reasons for our suffering. For example, you see, right, in a jail, there is a prison house in the government, right, and this prison house is actually in control or under the control of government only. It is the government who set up this prison house. But can we blame the government for that? No, it is only because whoever does a mistake, he will be put into the prison house. We cannot blame the government or the judge who gives the punishment. It is the person who has committed the mistake, who has done a mistake, and he is actually suffering for his own mistake. The punishment what he undergoes is, he cannot say, oh, why this government set up this prison house. Probably if this government wouldn't have set up this prison house, I would have stayed at home. We can't say like that, right? So some people might get a question, why really Lord then created this material world if it is such a place of misery, if it is a place where there are a lot of troubles. It is not Lord's problem, it is actually we who decided. We had lot of unlimited desires. It is we who did the mistake, and for what we did, we are suffering in this material world. So as a solution to all this, the solution is very, very simple. We will have to go back to our original home, the eternal place where there is no birth, no death, no old age, no disease. This is like a foreign place. We have come to a foreign country, right? And I gave you an example of jail. In jail, whatever facility they give, for example, if there are any VIPs, they might give one nice AC fitted room. He might have a mobile phone. They will give some TV. They might give him some TV. They might give him some nice foodstuffs, right? Although he is getting all these facilities, will a person who is struggling in the jail feel to stay in the jail? Oh, anyways they are giving nice facilities, let me stay here. No. Still he would want to come back to his house, right? That is the mindset of the person, because he knows what are the difficulties in the jail, right? Similarly, as a human being, as a living entity, so as a human being, all of us has to get back to our original house. That is the only solution. But the problem is, even though the solution is very simple, that is, we'll have to go back home, back to Godhead, to our original house, the supreme abode, Vaikuntha Loka, still everyone in this material world is caught up in the cycle of birth, death, old age and disease. Everyone is caught up in the cycle of this birth and death. The reason for that, do you know who is the reason for that, or what is the reason for that? Actually, the reason is very surprising, that no one else or nothing else is the reason for that, but it is we, our own self, who are the reason for this. Because we are not endeavoring for it. We are not putting an endeavor, we are not putting any efforts to get out. For example, if somebody goes to a foreign land or goes to some other place and gets lost there, somehow he loses all his money, he does not have any communicating channel, no mobile, nothing, he is lost, no money for food, water, shelter, nothing. So if he is an intelligent man, what he has to do? He has to make efforts. He will have to somehow reach out to the nearest police station or try to talk to people, say that, no, I've been lost, somehow I've landed here, my country or my home is in so and so place, somehow help me to get out of here. So that effort has to come from that person. Only then he'll be able to escape from that position, right? If not, it is very, very difficult. If he is not putting his effort, yeah. So if this person is not putting the effort, then he cannot blame anyone else. So similarly, to get out of this material world, from the cycle of birth and death, one has to put his own effort. But why one is not able to put this effort is because everyone is too much attached to this material world. Now, if someone has to come out of a certain place, if someone has to leave and go that place, firstly, he must realize that place is not good for me. He has to realize that, okay, this place is dangerous or filled with misery. No, only then a person can come out of that situation. If a person is not even realizing that this place does not have any problem, then how will that person feel like coming out? This is the kind of situation where we are caught in, right? So for us, this entire world is very nice, a very merry place. We look at all this nice, beautiful city life, nice buildings, right? Nice scenic beauties, nice villages. There are so many beautiful places to visit, right? All this is there. No, externally everything is very beautiful. But the problem is, there is problem in this, the misery in this place, and that the Shastras itself is saying. And like we already discussed, the biggest misery in this world is that everyone has to go through these four miseries of birth, death, old age and disease. None of us can escape from these four problems. So that, to realize that this place is a problematic place is the very first step to decide to come out of this place. Till that realization comes, it is very, very difficult. So in this chapter, we will actually see what is the original face of this material world. In fact, the Lord starts this chapter by comparing this material world to a banyan tree. So we will see what it is. From Shloka 1 to 6, 15.1 to 15.6, this section speaks about the problems of this material world and the ways to get out of it. Okay, I'll read out the first shloka. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhvam Moolam Adas Shakam Ashvatam Prahuravyayam Chandamshi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavit. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. Okay, so the Lord here is comparing this material world to a banyan tree. So banyan tree, we know how good a banyan tree is, right? But the problem here is, he is not only just comparing this material world to a banyan tree, but the most important point to note is, he is comparing this material world to a banyan tree which is upside down. See what he says. It is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down. So when you see, generally a tree will have its roots downwards and the stem and the branches upward. But Krishna here says roots are upwards and branches are down, which means he is saying that this material world is upside down. Sometimes we say, right, this person is really a disordered person or upside down. Outwardly they might look very gentleman and silent, very, very quiet. But the activities they do is, sometimes we will feel that, is this guy gone mad or not? Tale tirgodonu, we say, right, sometimes in Kannada. So like that, the Lord is saying that this material world is compared to a banyan tree which is upside down, which means in this material world everything is upside down. Nothing is very straightforward. That is what Krishna says. Right? So it is everything is disarranged, disordered. And another important point is, who is saying this? The Lord himself is saying this. Now Lord is the one who has created this material world. Very important point. He has created this material world, and he himself is saying that this world is not good. It's not a correct place. See, generally anyone, if it is his own product or if he has created something on his own, even though if it is not good, will that guy say that this is not good? He will always try to market. Even though it is not good, no, this is good. Sometimes we see, right, at this marketing people, they come to our houses door by door. All those products we might know how good it is. But still they will say, no sir, this is very good. It will come warranty for 5 years, 10 years. That will go away in 2 or 5 months. That is a different question. But he will not give up. Here you can see the Supreme Lord, he's not created any small product. This entire material creation is his own product he has created. And he himself is saying, this is not good. This place is not good. It's upside down. 2 important lessons to learn from this. If the person who has created himself is saying this, it is true. Second thing is, we can also understand how detached the Supreme Lord is. Generally, we people in this world, any small things if we do, we will generally boast about it. Oh, I am a general manager of a company. I am a CEO of a company. Or I have done so and so. I have done so that thing, this thing. So many things we'll have to boast about it. But here you can see the Supreme Lord has created such a magnificent world, and he is saying that it is not good. So which from that we can also make out how the Lord is detached. He is not someone who is boasting about this creation. Right? So that those are the important points. So why the Lord is, next point is, why is the Lord telling about his own product? Why is he saying that his own creation is not good? Because like we discussed, only when we get to know that there is a problem in this world, only then we will be able to, in a position to come out. We will be detached to it. Right? Otherwise we will always keep thinking, oh, this world is a very nice place. And we will ever would like to stay here. We will not think of getting out of it. What is wrong in this place? It's very nice. Yeah, of course, here and there some distress are coming. But still, it is a very, very, Kanakagiri layout is so nice. We have a lake nearby, we have a park. So nice, things are going on very fine. So like this, we just keep on thinking. And that is why the Lord is reminding, no, this place is not good. So then, our duty would be that to understand and realize that, okay, this place is not good, and then stay back, come out of it, right, instead of staying it there. Now, I said that Lord is comparing this material world to the banyan tree. Now we will see some of the key reasons why he is comparing this material world to the banyan tree. Now banyan tree, it is a very, very huge tree. We know how a banyan tree is. And you see banyan trees, branches and all, right, it is spread across. The tree itself, it stands in one place, but it is, if you see this huge banyan trees, those branches are spread across. And from those branches, some sub-branches will come. Sometimes a new tree itself is coming. So it's sometimes very difficult to find out which tree this branch belongs to. So it is spread across. Similarly, we human beings, our relationships in this world is spread across. It is not, that is one of the reasons why the Lord is comparing this material world to the banyan tree. And because our relationships are so much spread across, it is not very easy for us to cut those relationships. Right? We have father, mother, and then at a certain point of time we get married, we get children, and from that spouse's family, we get new relations from them. Then we have uncles, aunts, like this. Our relationships are so much spread across. And what is happening? The more the relationship grows, more attachment. There is too much of attachment. And not only relationships, even to nation, society, family, money, wealth. Right? Nowadays people are too much attached to their money and wealth, and so many other factors. We have that strong bonding with all these people. Sometimes the children might be studying in the West, completely out of country. They might not be seeing each other, but still, there is frequent call and so many things to find out if they are doing good or not. So that relationship, that bonding is so strong. And just like this banyan trees, branches and all other things are just spread out, to a wide area. Similarly, our relationships, right? It is being spread. We have a relationship everywhere, and it is very, very, very difficult to cut those relationships. This is one of first reason why this material world is compared to a banyan tree. Second reason is, this banyan tree has its roots very deep rooted. You find the roots, the tree will be somewhere, you can see the roots somewhere else. Especially the banyan tree, the roots are very deep and it is deep rooted. When it is deep rooted, it is very, very difficult to pull that tree. So similarly, our attachment to this material world is very deep rooted. Again, the attachment can be to family, relatives, wealth, whatever it is, land, so many other things, nation, society. Our interest of attachment can be to anything, but it is very, very, very deep rooted. No, we think, sometimes we think, what is the problem with this material world? Everything is fine, no? In spite, when I started talking today, many of you would have thought, no, everything is good, right? Yes, distress, miseries are part and parcel of the life. Sometimes we undergo miseries. But apart from that, it is all good. This world is so beautiful, such a nice place to live. Right? The reason why we get those thoughts is, we are too much attached. Sometimes when we are attached too much to a person or something, right, we will not give up on them. Even when they do some mistakes or something, right? For example, sometimes we love one certain cricket player. We love that player very much. Sometimes that player doesn't play well. It doesn't play well, and somebody else says, what this guy, because of him only we lost the match. Then that hardcore fan will tell, no, it was not because of them. See, all other different matches he played nicely, no? Only this match he did not play. It was not because of him. It was because of the captain. He did not take proper decisions. Something like that, we give reasons. Why? Because we love that person. We are too much attached to that person. Similarly, because we are attached to this material world, even though the material world is giving lot of miseries to us, we try to see only the positives. No, this place is good. Why should we speak bad about? Things are all good only, no? I am leading a very smooth life. I don't have any issues. But these miseries it comes in different forms, in different stages of life to every people. Right? A person at the end of his life, you have to really go and ask that person whether he has led his life throughout very happily or not. Then that kind of people who has seen everything, might be able to tell what and all issues he had with terms of health, in terms of family, with respect to relationships, in terms of hardships they have gone through. So one or the other, these problems are always there, right? And the whole point is, because a banyan tree is very much, just like a banyan tree is very deep rooted, our attachments to this material world is too much deep rooted, and attachments are strong. That is why we always try to speak nice and think that there are no problems in the material world. Okay? And then again, why the comparison of banyan tree is one of the old, we really, whenever there is a banyan tree, we really don't know from when this banyan tree is there. We might not be able to find out a start date. It is there from time immemorial. Sometimes our parents say, no, it was there during our grandparents' time. Our grandparents will say it was there during my father and mother's time. So like this, it is from time immemorial. So similarly, this material world also, it is Puratana. It is there from time immemorial. We really don't know from when this material, because it's Lord's creation, and Lord is Anadi. There is no birth for him. So this material world is there, and what is happening? Since we living entities are there in this, living in this material world, because material world has a problem, even we also have to undergo these problems. That is the problem. See, right now we are in Kali Yuga. Satyuga was there, Treta Yuga came, Dwapar Yuga came, Kali Yuga is there. We are still living. We lived during that time also. So we are also staying, living from a long time. Right? Where we really Puratana, we really don't know when we came into this material world. Right? So that is why it is compared to a banyan tree. Okay? Next, a tree will always produce some fruits. Now these fruits can be sweet or sour or mix of sweet and sour. Right? It is a mix of both. Similarly, in this material world is filled with both happiness and distress. It is nothing that this material world will only give you happiness or only give you distress. Each and every person in this, living in this material world, has to undergo both sweet memories, and he has to sometimes undergo this bitter memories as well. Just like a tree gives both fruits, which is sweet and sour. Right? And another important point is, however big a tree is, if we wish, we can actually cut down the tree. Right? However big that tree is. If sometimes when they think that this tree is not useful, or simply standing there giving some other problems, however big and strong this tree is, there are machines and somehow they axe it down. So similarly, for us human beings, even though this material world is so problematic and full of misery, still if we decide, we can come out of it. Just like how the tree is cut down, we can cut down our attachments from this material world. And for the tree, the weapon used is axe. Similarly, for us, the axe is detachment. We spoke in detail about this being detached. Being detached means not that leaving everything and going, right? Detachment means alternative attachment. That is the detached. Take your attachment from one thing and put that attachment somewhere else. And we all know where should our actual attachment be there, right? Our attachment should be to the Supreme Lord. Bhagavadgita says, Vishaya Vinivartante. Whenever there is a higher taste, automatically the lower taste goes away. It is, sometimes you take a kid, kids know generally they don't take like fruits. You give a small banana to the kid. The kid might not eat. Or say for example, at the same time you take an ice cream to the kid, right? Automatically the kid will forget about the banana. His attraction will go towards the ice cream. Right? It is like that. It is alternate. Once your attraction is towards something else, you will get distracted automatically from the lower things. So that is what is called a higher taste. The more you get the higher taste, the lower taste will automatically go away. So when we get attracted towards the Supreme Lord, all these material attractions will go away. It is not, we should not have a misconception that, we should not have material attachment at all. No, it's not like that. We have family, we have society, we are living in a society, we have people to take care of. There are certain duties which we have to do. We'll have to do that only as a duty with minimum attachment. We should not too much be involved and submerged in that attachment. That is what is problem. Right? Yeah. So we were saying this material world, what was the last point we saw? We were saying that this material world can be cut off when we are by the weapon of detachment. So that is, we'll have to be completely detachment. The moment we get to know that, there is some problem in this material world, then we will automatically be detached from it. For example, say one day we come, it's been a very hot day, summer, and entire day we are working very hard. We come home, it's very tiring. The moment we come home, in the table we notice a glass of orange juice. And orange juice is our favorite juice. We like orange juice a lot. So the moment you see it, you are very thirsty, you are going to take that glass of orange juice, and as you are about to drink, suddenly your mother says that, hey, don't touch that orange juice. Just know one fly or a cockroach fell in that orange juice. Don't drink it. Right? The moment you hear it, what will you do? Oh, cockroach will be no problem. This is my favorite drink. You can just drink. Put some, do some filtering and drink. No. Will you do that? No. Till the moment you hear that this orange juice was your favorite drink, but the moment you heard that there is a cockroach fallen down, it is supposed to be thrown away, you leave that juice. The whole interest, even though you are thirsty, the whole interest on that orange juice is lost. Right? Because why? You got to know that orange juice has some dosha, some problem is there. That is why you got detached. Similarly, in this material world, the moment we come to know that there is a problem, we will get detached. But the important point is, none of us realizes it. All of us are thinking this place is a happy place. But that is what Shastras are saying, that is what the Lord is saying. If someone else would have told this, will we believe? No, nothing like that. This is Lord's creation, it is such a beautiful place. That is why Lord himself is coming and saying. The person who prepared the orange juice himself, the person himself came and told that, no, don't drink this because cockroach is fallen. That person could have thought, right, oh, I only prepared that juice, why to waste it? Anyways, that guy is not seeing, let him drink. No, he will not die. Maximum he will get some infection. No, but a genuine person will point out that mistake. No, there is a dosha here. So that is what your Lord is pointing out. This place is full of problems. Better you be detached. When you are detached, then you will get alternate attraction. Okay, so in this section we saw the problems of this material world. Now how to get out of this material world that is filled with problems. That is answered in verse 5. Lord says, Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatmanitya vinivritta kamaha dvandir vimukta sukha dukkha samjaya gachanti amuda padam avyayam tat. Translation: those who are free from false prestige, illusion and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. So, all of us are looking for happiness in this material world. And to gain that happiness, we are actually looking towards the material world. We are actually dependent on the material world to gain that happiness. Again, it could be happiness through our relationships, or happiness through our money, or happiness to any other things. But ultimately, people are depending on this material world only to gain happiness. They are falling back on this material world. But now we have seen this material world is full of miseries. So, are we not looking for happiness in the wrong place? Shastras are saying material world is full of dukkalayam ashashvatam, filled with miseries. Then how can we look for happiness, eternal happiness in a place that is not happy? It is something like you are going to a very, very poor person and borrowing him money from him. So if you are in difficulty, if someone is in very difficulty, he wants to borrow some money, what he has to first do? First to find out who has money, who would be able to help me in a situation. He has to go to a person who is rich and has money, who has a mindset to give. Can we go to a beggar and say, no, I am in a little bit problem, you give me money, borrow me money. He will hear once, twice, then third time he will take a slipper. Are you blind or what? I am begging on the streets, what you are coming and asking money with me. So similarly, if we are looking for happiness, we must know from where we have to look for happiness. That is more important. This material world is dukkalayam ashashvatam. But who can give that happiness? Ananda. Ananda or happiness can be given only a person who has it. And the person who has it is Satchidananda. Satchid Ananda Vigraha. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchid Ananda Vigraha. So Krishna is a person who is always blissful. So he is a factory, he is the powerhouse of bliss. He is always, he is full of eternal knowledge and bliss. Only when you go to Krishna or the Lord, you can get that happiness. Otherwise it is very difficult. Otherwise it is like going to a vegetable shop and asking for fruits. Right? It cannot be. So we have to come out of that foolishness. People have to be knowledgeful and intelligent to think. First of all, try to understand from where will I get eternal happiness. That is more important. Right? And this is possible by practicing devotion. Right? Sometimes we feel that whenever we go to temple, we all say that when I go to temple, I get that inner peace. I feel that inner happiness. Sometimes even we, without knowing, right, when we go to a temple and sit into some meditation, we'll feel like very relaxed, so much of positive energy, right? Especially when we read Bhagavadgita, come to satsang like this, do bhajans, kirtans, right? When we do some seva to the Lord, this is when we feel that real happiness. And for you to feel that real happiness, you will have to actually do it. You cannot say that I will go to temple, but without going we will not get it. Right? You will have to go to the temple, pray to the Lord, do service to the Lord. Only by actually practicing it is when you get somebody is hungry, he has to eat. If he just in the mind he thinks food. No, will it make the stomach full? No, he has to do the action. The action has to come in place. Similarly, while chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, when we chant the mantra, we will have to actually practice it. We have to actually chant the mantra. That is when we will get the real happiness out of it. That is when we will realize how much happiness is there when we chant. So we will have to very deeply, we will have to engage in our mind. We will have to be in a meditative mood and completely concentrate. And with the devotion, when we chant, then over a period of time, slowly we will really realize it. And how do we do this? Because this world, again, Krishna says this world is filled with the dualities. One side there is happiness, one side there is distress, one side there is ups and downs, right? There is heat and cold, there is summer and winter. So one side, that extreme is there, on the other side the lower extreme is also there. But a person, an intelligent person should be equipoised. Again, this is a very, very important lesson which Bhagavad Gita tries to teach us. Right? It tries to teach a person. It tries to transform a person so that the person we are equipoised both in happiness and distress. No, we don't take happiness, we don't too much over enjoy happiness, our success, and too much not being affected by our distress. So, to be detached from the material world, we have to understand the problems of the material world. On the other side, to get attached to the Supreme Lord, we have to understand the qualities of the Supreme Lord. Understood? To be detached from the material world, we will have to understand what are the problems of the material world. That is when we will be detached. On the other side, to get attached to the Supreme Lord also, we have to know who is the Supreme Lord. We will have to understand His qualities. And this is possible to be understood by the three triangle, by Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. By their help, right, and their guidance, by Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, we would be able to understand that. Now there are some people who will agree that the material world is not a very good place. They are fed up. They want to be detached. They want to leave this world. But they are not ready to accept the Lord. They are not aware of spiritual. They are completely ignorant of what to do. They don't want the material world. They are completely detached. They are fed up. But they are not ready to accept the Lord. Now these are the kind of people who detaches themselves from the material world in a wrong way. How they try to commit suicides. Right? They are fed up with their relationships, or they are fed up with their monetary problems. They are fed up with their family, relatives. No, people are just. Recently you would have seen one news where the wife's family is just taking a lot money from that husband. No, everyone the whole family got involved, and this person committed suicide. Now these are the kind of people who really don't know what is the solution. They have understood only the wrong part. Yes, this place is not good, but they don't know what to do, and they commit suicide. And people who are not very brave to commit suicide, these people will get into alcohol, drugs. Today we can see a lot of youngsters, they want to get into drugs, because they think that they will get some temporary forgetfulness. Oh, I will be completely away from my problems. Let me not think, I will be completely out of my mind. So people who are brave, they commit suicide. People who are not brave, who fear death, they will get into drugs, intoxication, alcohol. And by doing so, they are not only punishing their body, they are not only spoiling their body, but they are also spoiling the people around them. Somebody might think, oh, if alcohol, I am drinking, smoking, what is wrong in that? Because that is anyways affecting my body only. No, that is none of any other's business. But the problem is, one of the issues is it physically damages us. But the second most important reason is, because we are into this intoxication, it will make our mind to think in lot of negative ways. We will not be the same person who we are. So this way we will always be in a fighting mode. We would like to commit some mistakes. And they have a very nice reason to say that, no, I was drunk, I don't know what I did was correct or wrong. So in that mindset I did something wrong. Right? But something wrong done is wrong only. We cannot change that, right? So it will actually influence your mind to do wrong things. And not only that, people around you are affected. So that way your family relationship, everything are lost. So that way, even though you are taking it for your own body, you are indirectly affecting a lot of people. So that way, that is also sinful, right? Anyways, that's a long, detailed topic we can go on discussing. But with respect to this point discussing in this chapter, we just mentioned. Okay, so the whole point is not only that you be detached, but also you have to be attached to the Supreme Lord. Now, if you do that way, when you are attached to the Supreme Lord and know Him, what is the result? What is the result? What will be the result or the benefit if someone worships the Supreme Lord? That is explained in Shloka 15.6. Na tad bhashayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante taddamam paramam mama. Translation: that supreme abode of mine is not illuminated by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. The Supreme Lord is saying, so whoever finds a solution to be detached from the material world and reaches me, my supreme abode, he says those who reaches will never return to the material world. He says the supreme abode of mine is not illuminated by sun or moon. There is no sun, there is no moon, because it is said that the Lord's supreme form itself is so illuminating. We already saw that there is no birth, death, old age, disease there. You are ever 16 there. We are ever living. There is no tension of going to office. There is no tension of reporting to your manager. There is no tension of looking after your reportees. There is no tension of earning. On right time food will come. Right? It is said that there is no night at all there. So you are living with the Lord. Nor fire nor electricity. There is no fire, no electricity. You don't have to pay bill. That is why the Lord is given in this first shloka the supreme. Another meaning, we saw that the banyan tree is upwards, the roots are upwards and the branches are downwards, which means this material world is a reflection, opposite reflection of the spiritual world. When you actually look into a river or something, right, water, whatever you see on the land, it will be upside down inside the water, right? It will be an opposite reflection. That is one of the reasons the Lord is given, says that this banyan tree is upside down, to convey to us that whatever is there in the spiritual world is there in this material world also. But only thing is, it is an opposite reflection. There, that happiness is there in full and eternal. Here it is only temporary and little. Whatever problems you have here, it is not there. it is full of bliss, because like material world, the spiritual world it does not perish, it is permanent. And Lord says finally those who reach there will never return to this material world. Now somebody might have a question. In that case, why we came back? We were all there only. Why did we come back? So answer is, we will come back only once. Once we go back, we will not come back again. It is just like a small kid. That kid will not know what is fire. It will be saying, no, I want to touch the fire, I want to touch the fire, crying. The parents will completely keep away. No, Baba, that is very dangerous, don't go there. Somehow the kid, without the knowledge of the person, goes and touches the fire. The moment it touches the fire, the kid starts crying. Right? And then it will understand its mistake. Oh, my mama told that not to touch. Now the second time the kid sees the fire, the kid will know, no, this is dangerous, I will burn my finger. The kid will not go near the fire. Right? It will get some knowledge. So similarly within us, we have one time we have realized and we have gone back to the Lord, we will know, oh, this material world is full of miseries, we will not come back again. We will not commit the mistake once again. And that guarantee Krishna himself is giving. Right? So, this is what is the benefit, the biggest benefit Lord is giving. He is saying, the moment you come to me, I will take you to my spiritual abode, and I will assure you that you will never return back again. Okay? So next section, from shloka 7 to 11, this section explains the destination of a person who does not go back to the spiritual world. In shloka 15.6 we saw what is the destination one person gets. The Lord is saying that he will attain the supreme abode and he will not return. Next 4 shlokas or 5 shlokas, it says what will happen to a person or what will be his destination if he is not going back to the spiritual world. Now in this section we will get the answer to 3 questions. First question is, first of all, why should we return back to the Supreme Lord? Why should we go back to the supreme abode? Second question is, when one reaches the supreme abode, the Lord says that he never return back to the spiritual material world. Why is that? Why one who reaches does not return back to the material world? And the third question is, what is the destination of a person who does not go back to the spiritual world? Okay, so to all these 3 questions, Krishna answers in verse 7. We'll read out the verse. Mamaivamsho jivaloke jivabhuta sanatanaha manah shastanindriyani prakrtistani karshyati. Translation: the living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses which include the mind. Okay, so what was the first question? Why should we return back to the Supreme Lord? Okay. So here the Lord says that we are His fragmental parts. We are all His amshas. He is Paramatma. We are Jivatmas. We are His own. Aham bija pradapitaha. Supreme Lord says, I am your seed giving Father. So He is like our Father. So ultimately as children, we are supposed to stay with our parents. Right? Even though temporarily we might be shifting to some place and we might be working or something, but sometimes, right, we always have that feeling, oh, my hometown, whatever it is, there is no place like my hometown. Today even our Mataji was talking the glories of our hometown, how good it is. We all feel to be connected to our hometown. Although we are settled here with family or work, we might be from different places, that connection will be there. Oh, my mother's house, the place where I was born, my native. There is suddenly when we talk about our hometown or native, our face glits up. It is always that connection. So similarly here, our original world, Lord is saying, you are my fragmental part, you are my own. So you are supposed to be here. There is no other option for you. This is your home. Now just for some purpose you have gone there, but ultimately you have to come. That is what is the answer for first question. Why should we return to the Supreme Lord? Sometimes we can give an example of, we sometimes visit some luxurious hotels right? It could be due to some business trip, or we might go to some place, maybe some other trip or something, picnic or anything. The hotel might be a 5-star resort, could be a very luxurious swimming pool, a nice food, everything is there. But whatever it is there, even though if it is free, still after some days you will always feel to return back to home. Right? Nobody will feel that, oh, let me stay in this hotel. It is so nice. Will we stay that? No. And one more thing is, will we think that, oh, in this hotel room, probably that photo is not nice, let me go and change one photo. Or in this corner, let me have a nice photo or a doll or a nice lamp. Let me decorate this room very nicely. Will we do that? We will think, this is someone's place, why should we do it? Right? We will not be very busy in fixing the hotel, decorating the hotel. But that is a mistake we are doing. In this material world, this is like a hotel for us. We will have to return home to back to Godhead. But what we are thinking is, how can we make us more comfort here? How can we live here, make ourselves? We are more into planning, settling. The word which we use is settle. I have not yet settled in my life. If someone calls, no, why don't you come for satsang? Why don't you come for Bhagavadgita class? That is all for people who are above 60, who are retired. Right now I have a lot of responsibilities. I have not yet settled in my life. Sometimes people don't get married also, given this reason. You get married, you are already 30, no, I want to settle in my life. And this guy realizes after 35, 38, he realizes I cannot settle in this world. Then he comes back to, okay, I want to get married, nobody will give him girl, because he are already past 35. So there is no such concept of settling, because you cannot settle in a motel or a hotel. That's not your place. You are just paying something and staying there for some days. You will have to vacate that after some days. If you are not vacating, they will throw you out. So similarly, Kala, the Yamaraj, whether we want to live this place or not, once the time is up, he will ring the bell. Like that school bill rings the bell, right? Tin, 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 everyone will run out. So after a certain, they will catch hold of your collar and throw you out. You might be a head of the family, or you might be a president of a country, you might be a beggar on the street, you might be the most richest person, you might have a Z plus security, but that Z plus security cannot save you from the Yamadutas. Once your time is up, you will have to go. Right? So that is what is this world about. So we will have to understand that this is the reason why Lord says that you will have to return back to me, because this place does not belong to you. Second question, when one reaches a supreme abode, never returns back to the material world. Why? Because the Lord says we are not only his fragmental parts, but we are his eternal fragment parts. It's not that like this, it is not like our father-mother relationship in this material world. In this material world, for us, we have a father and mother. But after this life is gone, that's all. Next life, there is some other father and mother. Do we remember our previous lives? Who our father, mother was? We don't even remember who we are. Right? So next life, it is gone. But the Lord is not saying like that, only in this life you are my son, no, like that. He is saying eternal fragment parts. You are permanently my part and parcel. So, since you are permanently there, you are supposed to stay with me. Why are you going? Sometimes this parents say, right, Baba, why you can just stay with us only and do some work? Why you want to go to struggle? Why do you want to go to a faraway remote place and struggle yourself? Your health will spoil. You have to eat food from canteen. I will prepare you some nice home food. No, this is the very, very genuine love of parents. That's the love which the Lord is showing here. Why do you want to suffer there? You don't go back. And he is saying, sometimes we say to the children, no, you come back. This time I am not going to leave you back. You stay here only with me. I am not going to leave you. So like that only here Krishna is saying. Once you come to my abode, you are not going to return back. See how love he is showing. And what is the third? He says, what is the destination of one who does not go back to the spiritual world? So these people, the problem is, unfortunately, they will be struggling in this material world. Janana Marana Chakra, the cycle of birth and death. He will, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Our Kanakadasa says, Punarapi Janani Jadare Shayanam. He keeps on, he's born, he's dying, he's born, like so many lifetimes he gets struggled. So how this person will struggle? That is given in verse 8. Shariram yad avapnoti yachapi ukramati shvaraha grihitvaitani samyati vayur gandhan ivashayat. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another, as the air carries aromas. Thus, he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. Yeah. So we already discussed, right? So he keeps on he will get entangled in this cycle of. Lord gives an example of air carrying an aroma. When it goes to a nice place, it will carry some nice aromas. When it goes to some other place, it will carry some other aroma, right? So like that, it will keep on changing. So similarly, we will get entangled. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. This is why the Lord is requesting us. See how He is showing that real love. Baba, no, this place is not very good. You come back to me, just like that parent's genuine love. Why are you struggling there? You come back to me, I will take care of you. Even though the parents might be 65, 70 years old, they might not be working, but still they will tell their children that, they will tell their grown-up sons that you come, I will take care of you. No parents will tell that now you are grown up, you find your own business. Nobody will tell. That is what Lord is telling here. That place is very bad, you don't go there, I will take care of you. But we are like that headweight children. Let's see, if I get time I will come, we'll see. He is saying, no, turn towards me, there are Shastras for you. Guru, Sadhu, Shastras are there. Take up that, chant Hare Krishna, come to temple. Let's see, if I have time I will come. This is our response to Him. So who are the losers here? We are the losers. Because He is there for us, He is guaranteeing us. But it's us who we are actually the ones who are not giving our time. Right? Once there was a story, in the Shastras it is given, once Narada Muni, right, is a pure devotee of the Lord. Once he came to a person, a man, he was struggling hard day and night in this material world. He came to this man. He thought, this guy is very much struggling. Somehow I have to help him. Narada Muni says, I am seeing that you are struggling day and night. No, why don't you come back? I will take you. I will give you a special offer. I will take you directly to your Vaikuntha Loka. This guy says, that's very nice. But the problem is, I have a grown-up son. No, he is not yet married. I have some family responsibilities. I have to get him married. I have to get him settled down. So what you do is, right now I am not able to come. Maybe later I will be able to come. Once my responsibilities are over, I will be able to come. So Narada Muni left. Then after a few years, Narada Muni comes again. And this person's son is already married. Now Narada Muni says, now your son is married, why don't you come? This time this person says, you know what, my daughter-in-law is pregnant and I want to see the small baby legs. Once I see the baby, then right, grandparents always have that desire to see grandchildren. So once I see this, I won't have anything else to do. Then again Narada Muni goes. He comes back again after a few years. That child is little bit grown up. He says, okay, your time is up, why don't you come now? He says that no, both my son and daughter-in-law are working. There is nobody to look after the children, the kid. They are leaving with me and they are going to work. I am the person who is taking care of the kid while these people are at work. So after some time, once the kid starts going to Gurukul or something, going to school, then I might be able to come. Then Narada Muni again sleeps. And next again he comes and he says that like this he keeps on giving reasons. And Narada Muni goes. One fine day after many years again Narada Muni comes and he is not able to see this gentleman. His photo is hanged in the hall with all this garland. So that person is passed away. So then Narada Muni somehow by his divine power, he was able to find out that this person after his death, he's died, and after his death he is taken birth as a snake around that house only, that surrounding area of that house only, because he's been too much attached to that house. So then he goes, Narada Muni does not leave there, he goes back to the snake and says that, see, I called you so many times, you did not realize at all, you could have come back to me, you did not, at least now you come back. So that snake says, no, in this area there are lot of robbers and rats. So these robbers there is lot of wealth in my house, they might attack this house, or sometimes the rats also might come and, they might fall this one. So whenever the snakes are there, the rats will not come, and whenever the robbers are there, I will make some noise and they will run away, so I won't come. So then Narada Muni goes. After some day, it was a holiday, Sunday, so all these son, daughter-in-law, children, everybody are coming out of the house, and the snake, the moment he sees his son, daughter-in-law, grandchildren, he feels very happy. He comes out of its hole and he tries to call. It's making noise. The moment these people saw the snake, they started shouting, people all came, and his son himself, he took a big stick and he hit the snake and killed it. So his very own son, it's a true story from the Shastras, not just a joke or something. So it is said that this is the mindset of the people, right? They just want to think that everything will be nice, it will settle down. But the problem is that we are not listening. Narada Muni, just like Narada Muni, even in our lives, we have these reminders like Narada Muni in the form of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Sometimes we say that, where Lord is there? What is He doing for us? He is not. No, He is actually, we are not able to see Him because of our imperfect senses. But He is constantly reminding us through these literatures, through this Bhagavadgita, Bhagavatam, through this sannyasis, sadhus, Guru, Shastra. We will have to catch hold of those reminders and somehow get to the Lord. Otherwise we will become like these snakes. Okay, next section from Shloka 12 to 15. It says that Lord is the maintainer of everyone. How Lord is maintaining everyone. That is what is explained here. So Shloka 12 and 13, I'll just read out the translation. This verse explains how the Lord is maintaining the world. Okay? The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also from me. I enter into each planet, and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Now here you can see, Lord is saying the splendor of the sun. I am the splendor of the sun. We can see how perfectly the sun is rising in the east and setting in the west. Have you ever seen there is a day where the sun is rising from north or south or west? No, it is perfect. Have you ever seen a day where there was no sunrise at all? No, the Lord is so perfectly doing it. He is saying He is dissipating the darkness of the whole world. Right? And He is also saying the splendor of the moon. He says, I am the moon. So now some people might think, light of the sun is okay, but light, how come light of the moon? That is what Krishna here says. See, Ayurveda also says that. It is actually that moonlight, that power from the moon, which is actually giving life to all these vegetables and fruits, especially to all this agricultural growth. The main source of energy is the moon, not only the sun. Right? That's what he says there. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. I enter into each planet and by my energy they stay in the orbit. We think that it is gravitational force. But this gravitational force, it's confirmed. This gravitational force is by the power of the Supreme Lord. Paused? Stopped? Okay. Right? Sometimes to show that whatever we are discussing is true, the Lord shows some signs like this. Anyways. Now He is already told that is maintaining the world. Next he says that how he is maintaining the body of the living. Now he is maintaining the material world. And in chapter 10 we in detail saw how in the continuous verses how he is maintaining this material world. Next he is saying the living entities within this material world, how he is maintaining the living entities. No, how he is maintaining the body of all the living entities. That is mentioned in Shloka 14. I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the 4 kinds of foodstuffs. So, he is saying I am the fire of digestion, right? So, it is said that even within our body, if something has to correctly work, right, the heart has to pump correctly, the brain has to work, right, there is digestive system, there is excretory system. Just imagine if for 2 days none of these work, at least any one of these work. Very difficult, very difficult. Yes, today we have medical facilities, there are people who study medicine and tell how these things are working, but all these things are more of a theoretical knowledge. But how it is actually happening inside, we really don't know. No, it's very difficult. So the Lord says, no, I am maintaining like this. And not only that he is maintaining us, finally he says that even the actions of the living entities is also controlled by me. That is saying that in verse 15, Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matasmritir jnanam apohanam cha vedescha sarver ahameva vedyo vedanta vid vedakrit eva chaham. Translation: I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. See, he says, I am seated in everyone's heart, which means he is Paramatma. From me come remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. This is very important to know. Nobody should be feeling proud or puffed up if they have some kind of knowledge, or if they have any anything that they possess. So it could be wealth or beauty or fame. Lord is saying, I am the remembrance. No, I am the one who makes. Sometimes it is very, very, we'll have to remember some crucial things in our life, otherwise it is very difficult. For example, students who go to exam, they would have studied the previous day. Today in exam hall, if they have to study, that whatever they studied they'll have to remember, otherwise if they forget, it's gone. So Krishna says, I am that crucial remembrance. I give you that crucial remembrance. And he says, I am the knowledge. Each person is knowledgeful in his own profession. He could be a very big engineer, doctor, or it could be a even small mechanic, or a small electrician. Anything. It does not mean the big work or small work. Whatever that knowledge in that profession, it comes from the Supreme Lord. That is why you see every work everyone cannot do. Some people we might be a very, very big engineer. We would have studied electrical engineering, EEE, but still we might not know how to operate a simple, if something happens in our house, some short circuit or something, we might not know. We will call a person who is not at all educated. He is 10th failed. He will be electrician. He will come and do this. Is a small problem. So a EEE engineer would not be able to do that, but a simple uneducated electrician might do it. So all this knowledge is from the Supreme Lord. We might think that it is the education which is teaching us. In the material world, that education is simply a threshold. It is just giving you an opportunity to get into a work. All these things rules and regulations are made by people in this world. But the actual intelligence is coming from the Supreme Lord. Now, remembrance, knowledge is fine. Forgetfulness, Lord is saying forgetfulness also comes from me. We might get a question, why is Lord making me to forget? That is bad, no, that is also good. We have already discussed that we have been living from millions of lifetimes. We have previous birth. Just imagine if you remember your previous birth. Who was our husband, who was our wife. In this life, one family, one husband, one wife only, we are not able to manage. In previous life, knowing different, that to human beings means okay. Just imagine if we were some dogs or pigs. What will dogs, pigs and all eat? I don't have to tell, right? So when we are eating as a human being, we will be eating nice vegetable biryani here. But we will be thinking, oh, as a pig, what and all I ate that time. If all these things come into our mind. So forgetfulness is actually good, right? And sometimes even within this life, forgetfulness is good. Because sometimes we lose our close ones, dear ones. Just imagine that we are always remembering in that sorrow only. We cannot go ahead in our life. So that forgetful, at a certain stage, even though we lose our most dear ones, right, the automatically Lord gives that forgetfulness. After 1 month or 2 months, we are back to normal, right? We try to live with it. This is the detachment which Lord is giving us, that forgetfulness. He is giving. That is very, very important. That is what your Lord says. No? I am the remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. I am the ultimate person whom you all should know, he is saying. I am the compiler of the Vedanta. Vyasadeva is none other than Krishna. He is the literary incarnation of the Lord. He is the avatara. And finally he is saying, I am the knower of the Vedas. I am the all-known. So he is the one who is given the Vedas. He is the person who knows everything, and he is the person whom even we should know. Okay, that is what he says. And finally we will go to our conclusion session. Shloka 16 to 20. It speaks about essence of knowing the Supreme. Shloka 15. What is ultimately after knowing this chapter completely speaks about how we will have to know what are the problems of the material world, how we should be detached from the material world, and how should we be attached to the Supreme Lord. Now, what is the essence if we know the Supreme Lord? That is told in Shloka 19. Yo mam evam asammudo janati purushottamam sasarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. Whoever knows me as a Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. So here the Supreme Lord is saying, one can know the Supreme Lord only through one way, that is by engaging in the devotional service of the Lord. Right? And what is the benefit if one engages in the devotional service? That is explained in the last shloka. Iti guhyatamam shastram idam uktam maya naga etad buddhva buddhiman syat kritakrityascha bharata. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. So Krishna is saying this subject matter which is explained in 15th chapter is the most confidential part of the Vedic literatures. And whoever understands this will become wise. In other words, he will become intelligent, and all his endeavors will become perfected, is what he says. So, perfection, this chapter on the gist, in essence what it says is, the perfection of human life is to become Krishna consciousness. Right? And when you say Krishna consciousness means, that is why ISKCON is called International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This is not just like any other organization, no, who wants to just do some, give some Vedic education randomly and make some money. No, this is an organization which was, Prabhupada brought this organization to make people Krishna consciousness. Right? What is Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness means in your daily day-to-day activities, try to be Krishna consciousness. That means whatever activity you do, whether you are a teacher or a student or a lecturer or you are an engineer, you are a mechanic or an electrician or whatever it is, you are retired, whatever is there, you do your activity at the same time be Krishna consciousness. Right? Don't practice Krishna consciousness, and that can be followed through constantly remembering and chanting and glorifying the names of the Lord. Right? That is the essence. And by doing that, we will be able to return home back to Godhead. That is where we started this chapter. Right? Our ultimate goal or our solution from this material miseries is we will have to go back to our original home, which is the supreme abode, the Vaikuntha Lokas, the Goloka Vrindavana, where we all originally stayed. It is just that we have all forgotten about it. Our problem is we have become ignorant. And that is why these Shastras are there to remind us, this is your place. These Shastras are acting like a guide, like a manual, human manual they are. Just like for an electronic device, you have a manual which says how that device has to operate. So these Shastras are constantly giving us lessons. This is how you have to operate your life. These are the things you are supposed to do. These are the things you are not supposed to do. And when you do that, this is your original abode. This is not your house. You have just come to a rented house. Your father has already built a own house for you. You can go there and live peacefully. Why are you coming and struggling here? Right? And there is a supreme abode which is self-illuminated. There is no sun, moon, fire, electricity there. There is no requirement. There is no need to work there. So you will have to, the only way to get out of it is, you will have to try to go back to that world. And the means by to do this is what is explained in this last shloka. Devotional service. Bhakti seva. When you engage in the devotional service of the Lord, like chanting, listening to Bhagavatam, reading to Bhagavadgita, Bhagavatam, doing seva, visiting temples, offering Naivedya, taking prasad, Krishna prasadam. Like this, when we get involved in all sorts of various devotional activities, we will ultimately reach this supreme destination. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Some important